Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakodash. Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Christians are taking L's all over the place. So this is a video. This came up in my notifications with GMS Vegas sit-downs, 144K, entitled Edomite Christian Fails and Breakdown of Revelation 5 and 9. You call this equipment against Israelites. Yeah, these Christians, what they do is they centered everything around these real dedicated Christians. They got to get them Israelites. They're not teaching you how to deal with a Buddhist or a Muslim or atheist, or to just go out and teach the gospel. Their thing is we got to get them Israelites. And why do they do that? Because they know that they're getting their asses whipped. I was watching some of, I don't know if that was a two-part debate between Deacon Akar and Formula Sakari. And this pastor, whatever his name is, and Deacon Akar was beating them up with them scriptures. Christians can't deal with us, man. Every time they come up, they fail to the point where we don't even want to deal with them no more. Yeah, guy, you get into a street fight with a guy, you beat the shit out of him, then he comes back next week wanting to fight again, and you beat the shit out of him, and you get tired of beating the shit out the guy, and you feel sorry for him. So, yo, why don't you just go home, man, before you get your ass whipped again? You know, there's people out there, they get their ass whipped, they want a rematch. They want to, what's the term, I can't think of the term that they use. Oh, let's run it back. And yeah, you run it back and you get your ass kicked again. Then 2 months later, you come back. You probably join a jiu-jitsu school or something, and you come back and you get your ass whipped again. So anyway, I didn't even watch this video. I just watched up to about this point, a little past this point, maybe a little bit past a minute. And I say, yeah, let me just let it play and see how the spirit hits me. We have the truth. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is dealing with us. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you Christians. Period. He's not dealing with anybody except the Israelites. Well, not just the Israelites. Well, he's not just dealing with Israelites. He's dealing exclusively with the prophets of Israel. Anyway, you can subscribe to this YouTube page if you haven't already. I do subscribe to him, and I subscribe to a lot of men in GMS, and some. Well, recently I subscribed to Captain Tazariak, one of his pages. I believe I just subscribed to the other one. What's the one? Cross the Line. I believe I subscribed to him, but I get a lot of his videos. I believe I even just subscribed to Deacon Akar page. I don't know about the new one, the Genesis, but I subscribed. Oh, I even Vocab Malone's. I subscribed to him, if I'm not mistaken. I did on the other page, but I believe I subscribed to him too. I believe I get notifications just to see what's going on, you know. But anyway, subscribe to GMS Vegas Sit Downs, 144K, and be edified, because he gives you a lot of edification. So, like I said, I didn't watch this video and say, okay, let me bring it back and let me do a video on it. No, I just said, let me go with the spirit, because I know it's going to be interesting. Oh, I just want to say this. I came across the Wi-Fi. What is that? Watchman for Israel. You have Naquam, and you have the other brother. I know his name, but I forget his name. Holy Bible defenders know his name because he's always coming to the camp. But I came across a video and it was dealing with the new covenant, the old covenant subject. So I said, let me click on it to see what he said. I said, I'm pretty sure. In my mind, I said he's teaching that the new covenant is already there. So I'm listening. You have to go into it. And then he says in the video, I didn't watch the whole video, but he said we're not in the new covenant. We're either in the old covenant or between the old and new covenant. I say Brother Hassad says that we're in the old covenant, which we are. Everything that, when you come into Israel, you grow a beard, you don't eat pork, you put fringes on your garment, you honor the Sabbath, you honor the high holy days. Where's that coming from? Is that coming from the new covenant? No, it's coming from the old covenant, which is the law that the Most High gave to Moses, Mashah, to give to the sons of Israel. To give to the sons of Israel. So when we come in and we follow them laws, we're following, as they call, the law of Moses. Not the laws of Moses, the law of Moses, the Most High's law given to Moses. He was just a middleman. So when people really say, oh, that's the law of Moses, no, Moses didn't come up with them laws. The Most High came up with them laws and gave it to Moses to give to the Israelites. So when you come into Israel, you are keeping the laws originally from the covenant, the first covenant. The new covenant is the same laws, minus sacrifice for sin. It's the same laws, but it's the same laws, but it's going to be programmed. So every Israelite, every Israelite will keep the law. Every Israelite will keep the law in the kingdom. And it's going to start when we get beamed up. When we get beamed up and we change, 1 Corinthians 15, I've been going to that a lot. When we get changed in a moment, in a twinkle of an eye, we're not going to commit sin. We're going to be perfect beings. And then you're going to have Israelites that's going to keep sinning that's on the earth that's outside of Babylon, because Babylon's going to be utterly destroyed. And we're going to go down and we're going to enslave all the nations. We're going to give them work assignments. And that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be busting their asses and getting their asses whooped. That's also in Isaiah chapter 24. I might even go into that. It said we're going to take them out. So, not too many words. We're going to put them in pits, chain them up, and then we're going to take them out and make them work. Okay, you're going to do this today. And you're going to do it until you drop. We're going to have you work. This is going to be 2-day shifts. I mean, you got to work 2 days straight in order for you to get a break. No weekends off. Well, you'll get a weekend. That's the Sabbath day and the high holy day. So you're going to be looking forward to that. But anyway, I'm a little all over the place. Anyway, coming back to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi does teach that the new covenant is yet to come. All right. So now I guarantee you, if the leadership of the Wi-Fi teaches that, all the followers teach it. If he was to say no, we're in the new covenant, all his followers would follow that. If Bishop Nate all of a sudden wakes up and says I was wrong, we're not in the new covenant, all his zombies will and they're zombies. You don't like being called zombies, but you a zombie. You guys are a bunch of zombies, man. You guys are a bunch of zombies. Now, I hope members of GMS ain't zombies. If I say something, I'm just gonna go with it because the heart said it. The leaders, nope. I guarantee you, if I taught something that was clearly off, they're gonna say, "Well, Tahar, you going off, man." Okay, or the apostles tell me, Apostle Ramlab, give me Tahar. What you teaching, Naki? What you going off, man? And they don't do that with the mother camps. If you at IUI, if you was a fellow zombie at the IUIC, and you say something contrary to the man that rode in on that horse, on that nag, you're gonna you're going to get pulled to council. They're going to lambaste you. They're going to curse you out. They might kick your ass, and then they'll kick. And if you don't change, they won't even they kick you out. You out of here. Because you got to follow the zombie master. And I'm not saying it to snap it on. I'm saying it because it's true. Them guys, some people, everybody in the IUIC, except for Bishop Nate, are zombies. Are zombies. Like I said, I guarantee you, if Bishop Nate says, "Oh, I was wrong. The new moon is not the full moon. It's actually the dark moon," they're gonna all see it. They're gonna, "Oh, the Spirit showed me that too." The dragon in Revelation is Barney the purple dinosaur. I had a dream about that. Yeah, I saw the purple dinosaur, that, and it said Revelation. I heard the Most High voice. I heard Christ. If he starts to change the salute to start saying we got to say Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, guess what? All the zombies are going to say Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And that's a fact. That is a fact. There's only one leader. And the rest of you, that includes you, Kanai. That includes you. You're a zombie. That includes Yahweh, another zombie. Abba Yel, which used to be Abba Ya'ala. He went from the Paleo Hebrew to the Hillbilly Hebrew. You're a big zombie. And I'm not saying it to snap on y'all. I'm saying it because it's a fact. Anyway, let this play. I don't know if I'm right about here. Let me bring it back to the beginning. So let's see where the Spirit takes me.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ramchak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'm just making a response to this video that you see. And this is a Christian Edomite whose channel has a bunch of little short videos and clips with tips on how to basically deal with the Hebrew Israelites. I guess the series is called Equipment the Saints for Hebrew Israelites. All right, and this is nothing new or outside of the ordinary of what we've seen with these Christians. They've even came up with guidebooks on how to deal with us. You had this project known as the Jude 3 project, on how to study not only what we believe but also how to engage us. And so far, it really hasn't garnished any win for the Christian organization. All right, they still proceeded to get obliterated through the Holy Spirit. All right, of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the scriptures say, you can't do nothing against the truth before the truth. So, everything that they come with is a fail. Nothing is landing. It's not diminishing, our work. The awakening, the progress is not doing anything. So anything that you Christians come with, is not going to have any impact. All right, because like the Gamaliel said, if this be of men, it'll come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily you be found even to fight against the Heavenly Father.
And that's what you're doing. When you come against us, you're really coming against the Father, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rukakudash. Yeah, that was it. No, that's in Acts, the book of Acts, the 5th chapter, when the scribes and the Pharisees, what did they get on him on the fact that they were calling his? They said, "Don't call his name." They said, "Don't call his name. Don't call his name." That's in Acts chapter 5. Read from the first, well, not the first verse. You can read from the 29th verse, but you go up a couple of verses. You can read the whole chapter. And Gamaliel. Gamaliel, it doesn't say whether that was the tutor of the same Gamaliel that taught the Apostle Paul, but it most makes sense that it was. They listened to him because he was a highly respected man. Remember, the Apostle Paul was raised up, he came up under the covenant. He was a learned man, not like the apostles. The apostles were not learned men; they were like regular guys. The Apostle Paul was a learned man. He was a man of rank, and he was a Pharisee. He was a Pharisee, and his father was a Pharisee. So guess what? He was born in the household of an Israelite. They don't say anything about his mother, but Paul mentions his father, that his father was a Pharisee, and I'm a Pharisee. He says I'm the stock as being a what do you say? As far as the law is concerned, I'm a Pharisee, meaning you were expert on the law. He knew things that the other 12 didn't know. The other 12 didn't know. You know, they weren't experts in the law. You were schooled to learn the law. To be a high priest, you had to know that law. And they were amazed at Yahushua as a young boy coming into manhood. He came into manhood at 12, not no fucking 20 years old. Yeah, these guys teach, an Israelite become a man when he's 20 years old. No, he becomes a man when he's 12 years old. That's why you think he left his parents, because he became a man at that time. So, anyway, like I said, Gamaliel said, which this elder's saying right now, he's basically speaking about Acts 5, that he said, leave these men alone, because if the Most High is not dealing with them, they're going to disappear. But if they keep doing what they're doing, then you may be found out to be fighting against the Most High, because the Most High sent these guys. And let me say this: Pharisees are not necessarily wicked. You had Pharisees and priests that followed Yahushua. That's in Acts 15, chapter 15, and also in Acts chapter 6. It said the priests, spoke about the priests that believed, the Pharisees that believed. So these guys that said don't call that name, because they said it's going to bring blood into us, because we were the ones that were behind him getting put to death, which was fulfilling prophecy. So that's why they said don't call his name. Now, the elite, they're saying don't call his name because that name has power. Yahweh's name, the name Yahweh has power, and the name Yahushua has power. And the elite notice. That's why I have I'm going on a little rant. I have a New Testament, a Hebrew Bible. There's a black Bible. And it's in the whole New Testament is in Hebrew. Now, if you go to Matthew 1:1, and it speaks about Jesus, the word there, I don't have it right in front of me. It's to the side of me. I'm not going to look for it. But it's right in reach. The word is Yahushua, if I'm not mistaken, which the blue letter says Jesus is from the Hebrew, or it goes back to the Greek, which is what is it? What is it? Damn, my mind fell in me. Jesus, which the Latin tribes, they'll say a variation of that name. They call on Jesus. They'll say Jesus, which goes back to the Greek and even into the Latin. The word there is Jesus, which is Greek, which is the Greek way of saying Yahushua, but the blue letter says Yahushua. So in that New Testament Hebrew, you when you look up the first time you see the word Jesus, it's written out Yahweh Shawai. But now when you go to Acts, I believe it's Acts 7. It's got to be Acts 7. Acts 7, where it's Acts 7, where Stephen is cursing out the Israelites of Alexandria, Egypt. That was the biggest group to come out of Jerusalem, to come into Jerusalem. That was a big. When the Alexandrians came in, Israelites came in, people knew. They said, yeah, they rolling deep. And Stephen was cursing them out, and he went into the history. He went from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the way to the Messiah. And him saying that, going down into history, he talked about Moses, and he talked about Joshua. Now in the New Testament Hebrew, the word is now Joshua and Jesus, or Yahushai, is the same word, the same meaning. Even the blue letter will tell you that. If you go to the blue letter, you go to Jesus, you go to the Hebrew, from the Greek to the Hebrew, and then you have the Strong's, which is different from the blue letter. Also give you the Strong's, and this is the Strong's definition. The Strong's definition is Yahushai, although they don't pronounce it that way. So in the New Testament Hebrew, in Acts chapter 7, the word, the name, Stephen is saying, he's speaking about Joshua, but in the Hebrew the word is Yahushai. So guess what? These elites, they knew they said, we're going to put the name Yahushai over here, but we're not going to put the name Yahushai for the name of the so-called Jesus, because they'll know the name. So that's why the scripture says, study to show thyself approved. A workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And what does it mean to study? When you study something, you have to apply what's called etymology. Etymology simply means, loosely translated, means a root word. You go to school, in high school, and especially in college, they'll use the term etymology. They'll go to root words. If you take English courses or language courses, they'll go into root words. They'll go into etymology. So I'm going to give you an English word. I'm ranting still. In the English language, there's certain words that come from the Hebrew. The word sabbatical. Sabbatical is not an English word. Sabbatical is a Hebrew word. When a teacher goes on a sabbatical, they go on a break. I believe it works like this. If you're teaching and you have tenure in the school, after 7 years, you can take a year off and they got to pay for you. And they call that a sabbatical. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and look it up. Sabbatical, meaning see if the little lady gonna talk. Okay, a sabbatical is a break from work. Right, so the Sabbath, it goes back to the Sabbath. You get a break from work. 6 days shall work be done, in the seventh is a Sabbath, or a sabbatical. So this is an actual English word. A sabbatical is a break from work that allows an employee to spend an extended period of time on something other than their regular job duties. Sabbaticals can be used for a variety of reasons, such as travel, study, or personal growth. This is why IUIC is lost, because they don't go into the blue letter. And they snap on you about you going in the blue letter. When they say blue letter, they think about GMS anyway. Because we introduced the blue letter. It came to me. The Spirit came to me and showed me the blue letter. I kept hitting the blue letter. Who is this blue letter stuff? I passed it on to the apostles. Then it went down to the bishops. And now you got all kind of camps. Let's go to the blue letter. Let's go to the blue letter. It says a sabbatical from the... Oh! So when Bishop Nathaniel says, don't say Yahweh Shai because people can't pronounce Yahweh Shai. You got to say it in the English. Then they'll say Jesus, which means nothing. G and sus doesn't mean anything. Those are not English words. So now if you say, well, don't say it in the Hebrew because they don't understand it, say it in the English. So then you would have to say, anytime you call on Jesus, you have to say it in English, and you would have to say, he saves. Oh, he saves, deliver me from this destruction. Oh, he saves. And then when you say, Most High and Christ bless, Christ is not an English word. It's Greek and it's Latin. It's a little bit Christos. You got Christos in the Greek and you got in the Latin Christos, which is a little difference. Right? So if you're going to say it in the English, don't say it in the Latin. If you're going to say Most High and Christ bless, you would say Most High, which is English. Instead of saying Christ, you wouldn't say Messiah because that's Hebrew. You would say Most High and Anointed bless because that's an English word. Christen is an English word. Christian actually goes back to the Latin, which goes back to the Greek, which goes back to the Hebrew. Christen means, that's what the word Christ means, christen. Can we say that we're Christ? Many false Christ? Or we're Christ? Christ just means anointed. That's all it means. Oh, and then the last class that Bishop Nate did, he even said we're all in the Hebrew and stuff. We don't use the Hebrew because people don't understand the Hebrew. Then at the end of his class, he says shalom. That's not an English word. You should have said peace. It says, a sabbatical from the Hebrew. From the Hebrew, sabbatical is a Hebrew word, not an English word. Shabbat, which is Sabbath. In Latin, sabbaticos. Is that actual Latin? No. That's the Latin way of saying the Hebrew word Shabbat. Greek, sabbatikos. Sabbatikos and sabbatikos is a rest or break from work. Teacher works 7 years. I believe they get a year off. And they get paid for it. They can travel. Then they come back refreshed. An extended period of time initially spent on something that's not your routine job. So a teacher that's been working with tenure, they have the right to take a sabbatical. The principal or whatever, the school board says no, you can sue them in court. You have a right to a sabbatical. So root words are important. And this is something that IUIC does not use. That's why they get stuck all the time. And we see it. We see them messing up. Look, I can go to a boxing gym and I can look at a guy and say, oh, this guy, he just started boxing a month ago. I can see the way he moves. Look at another guy. This guy been boxing for years. I used to go, this one gym I used to go to, there was this one boxer, he's a pro boxer. He was on HBO, you don't know him. If you watch boxing, I'll mention his name, Elvin Maricki. He was on HBO, so I'm boxing, right? I'm in the gym, and he starts talking to me. And the reason why he started talking to me, because he said, damn, this guy knows how to box. Let me go introduce myself. Coolest brother, he was Albanian. Which he got to be that dude was cool as fucking hell, man. That dude is cool as hell. And he was on ESPN, he was on HBO, and he was telling me, he said, no, you never seen me out on the phone on HBO a month ago, you know? Like you would think he was an Ephraimite, but he's Albanian. But he came to me and he said, yeah, you've been boxing for years, right? He said, you a pro? And a lot of guys, I never turned pro, but I had an amateur career. I had 20 fights, and I got out of it because of Floyd Patterson came up with these thumbless gloves. I fought one fight. I said, I ain't fighting no more. I don't like these fucking gloves. But I did have maybe a couple more fights with the regular gloves. But then they brought the regular gloves back. But then when I left, that's the reason why that happened. The Most High pushed me out of boxing to find the truth. All right? So I'm a little all over the place giving you these war stories. But let's come on back. So an experienced teacher, they have the right to a sabbatical. Sabbatical is the actual Hebrew word. It means rest. They work several years. Oh, you have the year of release, which is a form of a sabbatical. After 7 years, if somebody owes you. Oh, let me ask you guys this: since you guys know the truth so well, and since IUIC is all about the law, statutes, and commandments, when does the year of release come in your school? Huh? That's a celebration too. They partied on that day because you had owed somebody some money or owed somebody stuff, and then the year of release can come, and he's happy because he don't got to pay. He don't got to pay that debt goes away. I'll give you another thing. In New York City, if you get tickets, you get a bunch of tickets, right? You say, I ain't going to pay them goddamn tickets. And now it was an Ephraimite chick that told me this, that works for the parking violation. She said, look, you don't got to pay them damn tickets. She said, them tickets are, almost, you wait 6 months, them tickets going to disappear. And I didn't believe it at first. In New York City, if you get parking tickets, I don't know if they changed it. If you get parking tickets and they don't get you, they don't tow your car away or whatever, they can give you all the, the interest you owe on this shit, and it adds up. It's in judgment. After 8 years and 3 months, everything disappears. If you got 100 tickets, guess what? 8 years and 3 months, they're going to disappear. You got a new slate. Where do you think they got that from? If your credit is bad, the credit now is 10 years, but it's supposed to be 7 years. After 7 years or whatever, you get a clean slate. Where do you think they got it from? They got it from the scriptures. See, this everything would be back in balance, right? Everything will be back in. I hope y'all give me scriptures. I'm not going to go to the Jubilee. Jubilee is 7 times 7. So that was Jubilee was a super year of release. But every 7 years, you got a year of release. If you owe somebody, you get a clean slate. That's why it says, and it was a certain appointed time. That's why it says in the scriptures, if somebody asks, he needs a loan, don't say, oh, the seven years approaching, because they knew there was a calendar that they had. He knew that there was 1 year left before the year of release. He said, I'm not going to give this guy money because he's going to sit on the money for a year and then he gets released. So I'm not going to give him the money. No, the Lord said no. If the man asks for money, a fellow Israelite needs a loan, you got to give him the loan. I don't care if it's 6 months to the year of release. It wasn't, the year of release wasn't say, I'm giving you this money on this date and then we're going to set the clock and you got 7 years. No. It was appointed time. So how many you got? Is the IUIC got the calendar for the year of release? When do they have their year of Jubilee? The year of release and the Jubilee comes at set times. Let me get back into this system among the elite. The elite claim they're Christians and small hats, right? The reason why you got poor nations and rich nations, free nations and bond nations, inside joke. Anyway, it's because In the U.S., you got a $35 trillion debt. And they tell you that this is what you, the U.S. citizen, got to pay. Because they ain't paying for it. Politicians ain't got no fucking money. Politicians are a bunch of dummies. They're failures, man. All politicians should be super successful businessmen. That should be the politicians, because they'll come in and they'll find creative ways to make money for the government. The birth of this government, you know how they got money? When DC was small, they got money through lotteries. Lotteries are set up to get revenue for, and then you have bonds too. All these politicians are dummies. That includes this guy Trump. Trump is a little guy. Y'all don't realize Trump is a little guy. And if that man's, he'll tell you I'm worth billions of dollars. That dude ain't worth no. If he's worth $100 million, that's a lot. You know, he just shows that he's rich. There's motherfuckers that are rich that are worth $500 billion. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they're trillionaires, man. But what do? They're not going to show. They're not going to brag. You know, they're not going to brag about what they got. The super elite, you don't know them. You don't know the Rothschilds. Anyway, I'm running, but I'm giving you things. You know, there's lessons within lessons, man. So I was all over the place. But anyway, so, you know, Nate said shalom, but he said, no, we ain't supposed to hear you. But he said, you said shalom. And then you tell your zombies, oh, you got a coon name. You got a coon name. You got to change your name to a Hebrew name. Oh, but you can't use the Paleo Hebrew because that's Ebonics. But guess what? You got one guy in your school, or maybe more than that, named Yosef, Yosef. The hell is that? But then you got Yawasap. Yosef and Yawasap go back to the Hebrew, means the same thing. He will add. So why is Yawasap able to have a Ebonics name, which you said, I got the receipts. What if somebody comes in your school and said, my name is Chris? Well, you should say, well, let's call him Chris, because that's another way of saying Christ. No, that's a coon name. And I'm going to say this too. If you guys are so fucking great, why isn't members of GMS leaving by the hundreds to join y'all? Why, Sakari, what members of Sakari is leaving y'all to get with the IUIC? What members of the ISUPK is, I'm leaving, I'm getting with the IUIC? What members of the Wi-Fi or any other group, what members are leaving to get with them? You get them zombies, man. That's the title right there for you, Apostle Ram Lob. You get them zombies. That's why you got to, your men that come in is a fucking revolving door. I did videos on that before. IUIC Brooklyn. Watch the videos now. Go back 10, 12 years ago. Different faces. All them guys from 10, 12 years ago fell. Members of GMS, strong. If they came in 17 years ago, they still here, man. They still here. So anyway, forgive me for that rant, but like I said, there's lessons within lessons. Let me come on back to this. Bring it on back. Okay, so now let me let you listen.
So this is one of the videos, I guess, to equip any Christian to engage with a Hebrew Israelite. And he goes into Revelation, the 5th chapter, the 9th verse. And I guess you can also see this on TikTok. And he's just uploading it on his YouTube. You know, this is a Christian Edomite. And he's trying to use this to open up salvation to everybody, which is the main focus of these Christians, is they want to save everybody. All right. And the Bible is very clear on who gets salvation. It's not everybody. Not anybody of any nation can receive salvation. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna just play some of this video so you can hear how he's trying to break down the scripture, and I'm gonna point out the flaw, and then we're gonna get the true understanding. So let's listen.
If there's one text we can really focus in on where we see that salvation is for all of mankind, people out of every nation, it is Revelation chapter 5, verses 9 and 10. Let's read it. And they sang a new song, saying, "Worthy are you to take the book and to break its seals, for you were slain and purchased for God with your blood men from every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and you made them to be a kingdom."
Now, before I allow him to go further, notice what he read in verse 9. And they sang a new song. Now, this is John the Revelator, and he actually got to see who those individuals that sung that new song actually were. Let's go to Revelation 14. Revelation 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And those 144,000 people, what tribe, what nation would they from? All you got to do is go to the 7th chapter. It tells you 12,000 men out of each tribe of the nation of Israel. And it gives the roll call of each tribe that there will be 12,000 men. And that would...
Now what these Christians do is they'll say, okay, no, we agree with that. There are 12,000 out of each tribe. They'll be the cabinet of Israel. But what about the 9th verse in that same chapter, Revelation chapter 7, verse 9? It's, matter of fact, let me go to that. Revelation 7. The heads of the kingdom are 144,000, 12,000 out of each tribe. So who's going to be the head of this kingdom? What people? The Israel saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever, even if forever and ever. 144,000, right? And it even mentions the tribes. Now you got this clown vocab saying, well, that's not talking about the actual tribe. That's talking about the body of believers, which can be of any nation. And how do we know this? Because Joseph is mentioned here. Well, Joseph is interchangeable with Ephraim. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. This is why I told y'all to call the cops on vocab when he rolled up. We threw with him. Now, the last time there was these Jakes, 3 Jakes, I believe it was, that rolled up on either Columbus, I believe it was the Columbus camp, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I'm looking at him, I say, well, vocab sent them. They didn't just come out. The vocab sent them, so you don't know that they're vocabites. And then they ask the same questions that vocab asked. Okay, let me see where's Joseph? All right, Joseph is right here. You know what I'm going to do? See, this is how you notice the 144,000 is talking about the body of believers. That's called replacement theology or supersessionism. Anytime you read about Israelites in the New Testament, it's really talking about the believers, which can be of any nation. That's why I said call the cops on that guy. He's a crazy person. Okay, let me go over here. Okay, commentary. Let's go to the Bible Hub. Which, by the way, which proves that Bishop Nate watches all my videos. He just recently started going to the Bible Hub. Why do you go? By the way, if you put in commentary, the reason why I went to Bible Hub or go to that, because that's the first, when I did it many moons ago, I believe that was the first commentary that popped up. So I said, well, let me see what this is all about. He could have went to Enduring Word, which is a commentary page. He could have went to Bible Study Tools. He could have went to Blue Letter has a commentary. Now, Matthew Henry is also, his commentary is in the Bible Hub. So Bishop Nate said, oh, no, that's pretty good. He's hard going in that Bible. I'm going to go in that Bible Hub too. Then he made the mistake of saying, let's go to the Bible Hub. Then I made a video saying, see, that guy follows me. The next time he went into the Bible Hub, he said, let's go into the commentary. So them zombies are trained. They know, yeah, he's talking about the Bible Hub. IT. So let's go to that. Let's see what it says. And you know what? If you're a Christian, who should you be going after? Other Christians. You got other denominations teaching different things. One Christian group a denomination teaches something different from another Christian group. So you should all speak the same thing. You all have the label of Christian, but you got different Christian groups that teach different things. So we know the Most High is not working with y'all. Period. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Cambridge. Bishop, he gets his lessons together by watching videos. Okay, now. Okay. Revelation 7 and 8 of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Pulpit commentary, verse 8. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Zebulun sealed 12,000. The tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. The tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Ephraim is omitted while Manasseh is inserted. Wordsworth considers that this is an account of the rebellion's character of the tribe of Ephraim. It should be rebellious character. Nah. They say it's Ephraim, but no, this is the reason why the Lord didn't know. Ephraim and Joseph are interchangeable. Then they give you these precepts. They said, but Ephraim is sometimes identical with Joseph. Also in Numbers 1, which they didn't put in there. Psalm 78:67. Okay, they're not giving it to me. Ezekiel 30:16. Namely the stick of Ephraim. Joseph named the stick of Ephraim, who here finds a place among the 12. Revelation 7 and 8. So Ephraim, it's supposed to be Ephraim. Let me do this. Let me click on this. Study to show thyself approved, a workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing. Moreover, he refused the tribe of Joseph and chose not the tribe of Ephraim at that time. So when he said Joseph and Ephraim, those are not two different tribes. It's just two different ways of saying Ephraim. Open this up. The tribe of Ephraim during the time of Joshua. Moses was a Levite. Joshua took his place. Joshua was an Ephraimite. So the head tribe became Ephraim at that time. Before Levi, it was Reuben. But you know what Reuben did? Then it came down. It sat on Judah. You come up a couple of verses. And he smote his enemies in the hinder parts. He put them to a perpetual reproach. Then Yahweh awake as one out of sleep, and like a mighty man that shouteth by reason of wine. Right, when you're drunk, yo, nigga. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. That's an old scripture. So what is this about? Does it mean, let me do this again. Moreover, he refused the tribe of Joseph, which is Ephraim, and chose not the tribe of Ephraim or Joseph. Interchangeable right here. We can start using this. Add that to your list of numbers. What is that? Numbers 1 and 32, Ezekiel 37 and 16. So it laid on Judah. It started with Reuben, then it went from Reuben to Levi, which is Moses. Then it went from Moses to Joshua, which was an Ephraimite. Then from Ephraim to Judah. And it wasn't even Benjamin. The head tribe became Judah. But chose the tribe of Judah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. That's the head tribe. And he built his sanctuary like high places, like the earth, which he have established forever. He chose David, which from the tribe of Judah, also his servant, and took him from the sheepfold. The sheepfold are Israelites. From following the eels great with young, he brought him to feed Jacob, his people. Israel sometimes is known as Jacob. Isaiah chapter 14. And Israel, his inheritance. So inheritance means land. When you go into inheritance, the word inheritance means the land. Ultimately, we're gonna get if we was under the new covenant, we would be in the land. Why ain't we in the land, Bishop Nate? So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. The Most High was with Judah. Who started this thing? Abba was a Judite. So let's come on back.
Would be the governing body that constitute the nation of Israel. And then it further proceeds in the 9th verse of the 7th chapter, where he reiterates the same thing he said in the 5th chapter. But this is from the point of view or perspective from those who were redeemed. Those who were singing that new song with 144,000. But let's continue, because it's going to prove it. It says, and I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of the harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
And there was others that learned the song ultimately too. That was the rest of the rest of the elect, which ultimately all of Israel, even the 2/3, they're going to be blessed too.
So only the 144,000 would even know this new song. And those 144,000 would be from the 12 tribes of Israel. 12.
And I hate to say this, you got to know the whole song. you on American Idol or one of them singing groups, and you sing a famous song, and you change the word, you trip up on the word. You can trip up one time. You playing a piano in a concert, you're the greatest piano. If you hit the wrong note, it's called a sour note. If you're on like American Idol or The Voice or whatever, and you sing or you cough or something, they're not gonna. You sung the song perfectly, but you stuttered on one part of the song. They said, we can't have you. You got to come back next year. So now I hate to bring this up, but IUIC and IUCBK talking about we're in the new covenant. You guys are not singing a full song. You got to go back and practice. Come back next year for the auditions. Well, why didn't I make it? I sung it perfect. No, you did not. You coughed, you stuttered, you changed the word on that song. You were playing the piano, you hit the wrong key, which left the sour note. So you can't make it. But I'm better than all these guys. But all these guys sung the song perfectly. You didn't. Don't give a damn how good you are. We'll see you next year. So IUIC and ISUBK, they're singing the song, but they're stuttering and they're coughing and they're hitting the sour note. Straight up. Like I said, Wi-Fi, they sung that part of the song right. Now, I don't know if they watched our videos in her car and said, I'm going to go with that. Or they always knew it. I don't know. You got to ask them. But I'm going to tell you, hey, Captain Tazariak wanted to get in contact with me, really dealing with that. I believe really dealing with the subject of the new covenant. And I said, yeah, we can eventually get together, and we'll get together in time. But if I talk to him, I'm going to tell him, look, brother, you guys are going off. Yeah, but what about this? I said, any scripture you give me, I'm going to cut that. You're going to get cut. Where do you want me to start cutting? The only scriptures you need is Jeremiah 31 and 31 and Hebrews 8 and 6 on down. Then there's a couple other scriptures. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 37. You can read that whole chapter. They said we're going to be the Most High is going to put us under the bond of the covenant. What covenant do you think it's talking about? The new covenant. So ultimately, we're going to start to follow. We're going to come up under the new covenant when we get delivered. If we're of the elect, chosen, and we get beamed up into them ships, we're going to be made. Our bodies are going to change. If you got a sore back, a hangnail, you got a gunshot, you got stabbed, you scrape your hand, you got a cut. I got a cut from when I was a kid, and the mark is still there. Guess what? When I changed all the marks, your teeth, you got false teeth. The false teeth gonna come out your mouth, and you're gonna have real teeth. You know what I'm saying? That bald spot is gonna go away. I'm sounding like a preacher. Play that organ in the background. That bald spot's gonna go away. If you got bad teeth, the Most High gonna give you new teeth, and they're gonna be white too. Can I get a amen? You're going to be changed. We're going to be perfect. We're going to have spiritual power. We're going to be angels in bodies. What do you think extraterrestrial means? The superheroes. And we're going to have more power than Yahushua. Yes, I said it. We're going to have more power than Yahushua because Yahushua said it. He said, the things that I do, you shall do in greater. So I just proved, I gave you a receipt. Y'all don't know. And I suggest that, well, Bishop Nate is not going to get it because he's too much, he got too much pride in him. He got too much. And then them guys are not going to, Kanai and Yawasap and Asaph and Arathon and them guys, Abba Allah, they're not going to correct them because they're zombies. You guys are all zombies, man. So there's nothing really to talk about. If you can't get it, well, like Hassad. When we got on it back and forth with the Gog and Magog, why are you going to go down to the camp and try to talk to him? But I got certain questions. We done told you what it meant. If you can't get it, you can keep walking. You can get to stepping, man. If anybody in the YouTube world that watches the Israelites, if you're not sure about something, come to GMS and ask somebody in GMS, and they're gonna give you the right answer. And you can put your money on it. You can bet your last dollar we're gonna give it to you right. These guys are not singing the song perfectly. Let's listen to some more. I'll get ready to close.
12,000 men.
And see, this is more, we're analyzing things now. We're analyzing debates. We're analyzing different videos. We're catching things. When we listen to Bishop Nate on Saturdays, we're analyzing him. And sometimes he'll be going good. But then he'll make a left turn and say, oh, we got him. Got him.
So let's go back to the video. Because he's still trying to prove that this is talking about everybody. Men from every single nation, right? And all he could have, read up above, because it was talking about the prayer of the saints. And we know who the saints are. When you go to Psalms 50 and 5, Psalms 148 and verse 14, the saints is talking about the children of Israel. But, I don't have to go to those precepts. Y'all brothers, y'all already know the breakdown. So let's continue.
And priests to our God, and they will reign upon the earth.
Now, what is that the fulfillment of? That's he just read. Actually, he should have went to the scripture. He should have went to was normally Christians go to Revelation 7 and 9. Tongues, nations, king. That's talking about other nations. So the cut would be Revelation 5 and 9. What show you that it's talking about Israel, the nations and tongues, meaning Israelites are scattered throughout all the nations, so they're looking like the other nations. They're speaking the other nations' languages. They're following the culture of the other nations. So the Most High is going to gather them, the saints, from all these nations. You can only be a saint if you're an Israelite. The Most High is not going to make these other nations saints. And the word saint just goes back to the word holy. Santa, which is clean and holy, which goes back to the Hebrew Kodash, which is clean and holy. So this is a fulfillment of something. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Revelation 5. And 9. And they sung a new song. The elder, brother out of Vegas, he went to the right scripture, Revelation 14, and explained who those people were that sung the new song. They were Israelites, 144,000. And he sung a new song saying, thus, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seal thereof, for thou wast slain, that's Yahushua, and hast redeemed us, which are the Israelites, which he said, Matthew 1:21, he came to save his people, right? Go not into the way of the Gentiles, neither into any city of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of Israel and say the kingdom is for you. Romans 9, I can go all day. Us, which are the Israelites, to the Most High, by thy blood, Acts 5, and you can start from 29 to 31. Give remission of sins and forgiveness to Israel out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Meaning, the Israelites are going to come out of every kindred, tongue, and people and nation. You can be a part of the family that you got some of your brothers, or maybe one of your brothers or sister could be an Edomite. If your mother had more than one man, that guy could have been a Tyr. And you don't get along with your brother because he's an Edomite and look like a Jake. And has set us and has set us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So now let me pull this out. This, by the way, is a fulfillment. Of this. Let's see if it's in the commentary. Bring this back. Where y'all at? There you. Do we got it? I think we got it. Let's see if Cambridge. Let's see what Cambridge says. I'm just checking out these other. Do this. Okay, beautiful. Matthew Pohl's commentary. Why did Matthew pull out Exodus 19 and 6? That's Revelation 5 and 9, and even verse 10. Verse 10, we start at 9, is referring to Israelites. This is a fulfillment. Revelation 5 is a fulfillment of Exodus 19 and 6. And you shall be to me, who is the Lord talking to? Through Moses. Israelites. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation, singular. These are the words which you shall speak to the what? To the son. The word there should be sons of Israel. Why did he put that there? To give you the understanding of Revelation 5 and 10? Because he knows. It says, I'm sorry, bring it back down. Giving them a power as priests to offer up not such bloody fleshly sacrifices they offered, but spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High. Right. Because sin sacrifice for sin is going to be done away with us, because we're not going to sin. Through the beloved. Now it says 1 Peter 2 verse 5. Let's see what that says. You also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahushua. Who is that? Who is Peter talking to? The Israelites, fellow Israelites. And also as kings to rule over their lust and sensitive appetite, and to reign hereafter on earth, judge the world. Paul was talking to the Israelites. Know you not that ye shall judge angels at the great day with the great judge of the quick and the dead. So Matthew Poole went right to the right sources. Now, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me go to because they should have gave you more verses. Let's go right here. So that multitude out of nations, kings, tongues, and so forth, those are Israelites. The fulfillment of Revelation 7 and 9 are the Israelites. Starts with 144,000. But 9th verse. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. Exodus 19 and 6. And holy nation. You notice it says nation, right? One nation, that's Israel. A peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past you were not a people. Hosea, that's Romans 9, I believe that's 23, 24 verse, which is, Paul was quoting Hosea in Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. But are now the people of God. In the place where it was said, which is America, ye are not the Israelites, there shall be said, you are the sons of the living power, which had not obtained mercy. We don't have mercy on us. We're under the curses, but now have obtained mercy. Mercy is going to come when we're lifted from the curses, and mercy is going to come along with. We're having some forms of mercy. We're not in hardcore slavery, living in a shack, working in a field for 20 hours. The Most High pulled that curse off that much, but we're still under curse. I'm gonna prove that we're under curse. Go outside and put an Edomite in slavery. Just grab some Edomites and put them into slavery. When the cops come, say, "Oh, these are my slaves." See what the hell happens to you. They're gonna put your ass in slavery. It says, which in the time past were not a people. Hosea 1 and 10. Romans 9, I believe that's 24. But are now the people, because the whole world's going to know that we're the people of the Most High, which had not obtained mercy. Full mercy is when we get into the kingdom. And when we get that full mercy, that's the same time we're going to get that when the change comes. That's the same time when we're going to get the new covenant. But now have attained mercy, dearly beloved, talking to Israelites, I beseech you as strangers, he's calling the Israelites strangers, and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts. In other words, as Romans 8 says, mortify your members, which war against the soul, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles. Those are other Israelites, and it's also Gentiles. When you deal with people in the world of other nations, you gotta, if you're working for an Edomite, you gotta be, you don't do a thing where you robbing them. You got some scam going where you throwing shit out the back door, because guess what? Ultimately, you're going to get caught out there. It says, you can't be a nigga on the job. Having a conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas thou, and the Gentiles are starting with the Israelites, the ones that don't know that they're Israelites. Ye in time past were Gentiles. 1 Corinthians 12. Whereas they speak against you as evildoers. So Jacob is going to speak against you as evildoers, and Esau and the other nations are going to speak against you as evildoers. They may, by your good works, Romans 13, rulers are not a terror to good works, right? But to the evil, which they shall behold, glorify the Most High in the day of visitation. So when the Lord come, then you're going to find out who the Israelites are. Right, it says, submit yourself to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme, or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers. That goes Romans, precept to go with that is Romans 13. And for the praise of them that do well. In other words, you don't, if you see a stop sign, you stop at the stop sign, right? You see a red light, you stop at the red light. You don't go into a store and ransack the store and take the stuff because you're going to get caught out there. You see these smash and grabs. You got Edomites doing it, Jake doing it, other nations doing it, but a lot of Jakes be doing that. Now, if you were in the camp and you are part of a smash and grab, you in the camp, you know, on a Saturday, and then you hanging out with some Jakes in the world, and y'all do a smash and grab, and you one of the guys, and we see you on film, guess what? You out of the camp. No ifs, ands, but we're not going to suspend you. You know, we're not going to open up the Bible on you and give you skill. We're going to kick you out the camp. Because if they catch you, they're going to say, oh, this guy, we found out this guy was wearing fringes. he was doing a smash and grab with fringes on. Nigga, you out the camp. Anyway, let's come on back, listen to a little bit more, and I'll close it. And then look at this guy. He you know.
John here is basically exhaustive in the language that he uses to describe those who are saved so that there's no doubt. And we could spend time to break down each one of these terms of tribe, language, people, nation, but I want to...
All tribe, language, people, nation are Israelites, scattered. I can do a video just on the word scattered.
Focus here just on that first word, tribe. Every tribe, that is the Greek word phule. And what does it mean here when
He said phule, right? He said phule. Let's look up the word phule. Let's go to Acts, and I'm going to close this because he's done. There's a first round knockout. Acts 10. Bear with me for a minute. He said the word phule, right? Let's see what the word phule means. Which he's going into the Greek, going to the etymology. Okay, so now F. Let's go to nation. What is that? Nation. Acts 10:34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth I perceive that the Most High is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. So see, that means you can be of any nation. Nope, it's talking about Israelites. Now the man said phile. I'm glad he said that. Let's go to the word nation. I'm going to tell you what the nation is. Nation. I'm sorry, wait a minute. No, that's ethnos. That's ethnos. Let me come on back. Okay, right here. And he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a Jew to keep company with that of another nation. Another nation, this is what I want. Unlawful for a Judite to be, keep company with another nation. So let's deal with the word. Now the white boy said, phule, to try the word phule. Allah, let me let you hear it.
Strong's G 246, alaphulos.
It simply means foreigner, right? So let's break the word down. Alos.
Strong's G 243. Alas.
Allah just means
Alas.
another. It just means another. Let's come on back. There's root words. Follet. Didn't the white boy say follet? Follet? The word tribe means follet, which means anybody of any other nation. That's why Cornelius was, it says what? A tribe. In the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. That's what it means. That's when the Apostle Peter said, I'm not to be a disrespect of any other nation, and if they accept they follow the Most High, they can be in. He that proves that Cornelius was an Israelite. Because guess what? If they didn't know that they were Israelites, they were still Israelites. Like you see Jake in the street. Well, you tell a Jake, no, I'm not an Israel. I'm a Muslim. He don't know. You explain it to him. If he's one of the elect, he'll see it. So anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I would like you to see the rest of this, but you failed. As it says, Edomite Christian fails in breaking down of Revelation 5 and 9. You call this equipment against Israelites. Now, he knows a little something because he does go into the Greek. He probably goes in the Blue Letter or the Concordance or whatever. And that's something that other camps don't always do. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one, shalom. And watch the rest of this video.